Why is eating healthy important? Could it be that certain foods impact how we feel or maybe cause certain illnesses? Some research says that by eliminating certain foods from your diet, you can decrease the chances of inflammation throughout the body. According to NPR and Science News, there might be more than one reason to abstain from certain food groups such as meat or dairy. And if it's true that microorganisms have a strong presence in our stomachs, a diet heavy on meats and dairy could be linked to intestinal diseases. So what would happen if experiments were done where people were on a plant or meat diet? It's a great question. Let's find out. A microbiologist from NYU conducted a study with 10 people. People were put on extreme diets of either meat or plant-based diets. Both diets had an impact on the amount of microbes in the stomach. However, when people switched to the meat diet, there was a significant increase, according to Tina Saei from Science News. In allostipes and bacteroids, bacteria also began pumping out short-chain fatty acids. And it's those fatty acids that increase inflammation throughout the body. Additionally, she adds, as soon as you start to measure on shorter time scales, you see increasing variability around somewhat stable baseline. Pretty interesting stuff. So really, what does all this testing mean and all the research mean? It means that high-fat diets such as meat and cheese are not necessarily good. Why is that? Well, according to NPR reporters, microbes that love bile, it's also known as Bilophila, started to dominate the volunteers' guts during the animal-based diets during the research. Bile helps the stomach digest fats. So people make more bile when their diet is rich in meat and dairy fats. A study last year found that those blooms of Bilophila cause inflammation and colitis in mice. People, specifically the researchers, are now learning all about how our choices on food change the microbiome, which is the bacteria living in our bodies. And it's these very microorganisms that live in our intestines that impact our overall health. And by health, I mean the weight, immunity, and maybe even our behavior. So where do we go from here? The next step is to conduct studies that measure long-term effects of our diets high in meat and cheese consumption versus a plant-based diet. Our final thoughts? Well, it's undeniable that meats and cheese don't seem to be a healthy choice to consume on a daily basis. And based on the research, there's now reason to believe that diets that are high in meats and cheeses are linked to inflammation throughout the body, which is not a good thing. While more research clearly still needs to be conducted to figure out the long-term effects of these diets that excludes plants, it's undeniable that meats and cheese don't seem to be a healthy choice to consume on a daily basis.